Hello, and welcome to this Yin style yoga class. So what is Yin Yoga? In normal yoga, or more fast-paced yoga, we focus on the muscles, strength, and flexibility. Yin Yoga goes deeper, focusing on the tissues, the ligaments, the joints. So sometimes Yin Yoga is called the yoga of the joints. So in this class, we'll be holding the poses for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. And the long hold is what gets deeper into the joints. As in more fast-paced yoga, we don't hold the poses that long. So this would be an earth-themed yin class. So we'll be focusing on the hips mostly and more grounding poses. Just to let you know, I won't talk a lot during this class. I will get you into the pose, have you settle in mind and body, and then we'll just hold the pose for a few minutes. So there's nothing wrong with the video. It hasn't frozen. I'm just not going to talk during the whole pose. That way you can come inward and focus on how the pose feels in your body. And feel free at any time, if the poses are uncomfortable, to come out. Please listen to your body and don't hold a pose if it's uncomfortable just because we still have time left. Please come out of a pose anytime you feel uncomfortable or feel any pain. In Yin Yoga, we do kind of go to the edge. So really listen to your body. You want to feel a nice stretch. We do Yin Yoga cold. We're not going to warm up. We're going to go straight into the poses so you can feel where your edge is, where your limit is. And so we will get into the pose, and you find where you feel comfortable. When you start to feel pain, then back out of the pose a little bit. You want to feel a good stretch. You definitely feel the pose working, but we don't want any pain. So with that said, let's get started in child's pose. So child's pose, I do have a blanket. Is the only prop that you'll need. If you want more, you can obviously, if you know you need more support, you can get some more props, blocks, or a bolster. I'm just going to use a blanket for my knees and to help me sit up in certain poses. So getting started in child's pose, we'll bring our big toes together, widen our knees out to the sides of our mat, and then we're just going to let the hands slide forward. Let the forehead rest on the mat, and then just start to arrive here into your space. So noticing maybe any sounds around you in the room. Noticing the sounds that are near, the sounds that are far. Start to notice the mat underneath your hands, underneath your feet, your legs. Notice where you're being supported. Maybe rocking a little side to side if that feels good, adding some movement. Feel where the forehead is being supported by the mat. And then bring your awareness to the breath. See if you can deepen the breath, taking slow, deep breaths in through the nose. Exhaling even slower through the nose if it's comfortable, or maybe you exhale through the mouth if that feels better. But inhaling through the nose. Filling the whole upper body with air. Just noticing how you feel, where you feel sensation. And not judging any of that as good or bad, just noticing. So coming into the body, being supported by the stability and strength of the earth. Noticing how you feel. And taking this time for yourself to relax and get grounded and come out of the mind and into the body. And then when you're ready, we're going to rise up from our child's pose and go into our first pose that will be held for 5 minutes. So it's called caterpillar pose or a seated forward fold. So since we're starting the practice, since we do yin practice with the body cold, I'm going to sit up on a blanket so my hips are higher than my legs. You may notice the back of your legs are really tight. So in our seated forward fold, we're just propping up the hips. And then here's where you find your edge, how far you can go that's comfortable. So straightening out the legs. If you feel a lot of sensation in the back of the legs, that's good. So releasing some of that tension, but if there's pain anywhere, maybe in the hips or the backs of the legs, please bend the knees. And then just feel into the sensation. Feel how much is too much. So if you can straighten the legs and you're feeling a good stretch, but it's not painful, stay here. So we're getting deeper into the joints and deeper into the muscles. And so I'm going to sit up nice and tall and then just fold as far as you can go. For me, this is as far as I can go in this pose, our seated forward fold. And so we're going to hold this for 5 minutes. So maybe you close the eyes if that feels okay. And again, feel where you're being supported by the strength of the earth. Noticing the sensations you feel in the body as long as there's no pain. Just notice the sensations, breathe into the sensations. So inhaling that deep breath through the nose and exhaling even slower through the nose if it's comfortable, or maybe through the mouth. So always coming back to the breath. The mind should wander. And when sensation grabs your attention, just come back to the breath, breathing into the sensation. Exhaling, relaxing a little and feel into the sensation. There's 1 minute left in this pose. Maybe see if there's any adjustments you can make. Maybe go a little bit deeper. Maybe come out a little bit if you need to. Still breathing. Next, we will come into butterfly pose. So slowly raise back up to a seat, depending on how deep you were. We'll bend the knees, maybe kind of windshield wiper a little bit. Just kind of let them go side to side. And now we'll bring the soles of the feet together, still sitting on a blanket or just on the mat, whichever feels good. Soles of the feet together. So see if you can bring the feet in close. See how that feels to where you can kind of fold over. Or maybe you bring the feet out a little further. See which one's more comfortable. So if we bring the feet out further, you may feel this more in the outer part of the knees, the legs. If you bring it in, if you bring the feet in closer, you might feel it more in the inner thighs. So find where you feel a really good stretch but no pain, and then we'll hold this pose for 3 minutes. So sitting up nice and tall, folding over the feet. Maybe you hold on to the feet. And I automatically add movement without really thinking about it. I tend to sway a little side to side. You can do that gently if it feels good. But keep the awareness on the breath. So breathing in through the nose if it's comfortable. Out through the nose if it's comfortable. Noticing where you feel sensation, a good stretch, but no pain. And breathing into that area. So really opening the hips here after that seated fold. There's 1 minute left in this pose. If you'd like to go a little deeper, or maybe come out just slightly if you need to. Just pay attention to how the body feels and bring the awareness back to the breath. When you're ready, we'll sit up. Our next pose will be a wide-legged forward fold. So before we had the feet together, this time we're going to widen the legs out to the side to wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to actually prop myself up a little bit higher. I am least flexible in my legs. So widening the legs out to a comfortable position, flexing the feet to protect the knee. Again, noticing where you feel sensation. And then we will sit up nice and tall, bend at the hips, and just start to fold as far forward as you can go. And we will hold this pose for 5 minutes. So again, maybe you close the eyes or you can leave them open and just gently fold forward. Breathing into where you feel sensations but no pain. Bring the legs closer together if there's any pain, or come out at any time if you need to. Just focus on the inhales and the exhales anytime the mind wanders. There's 1 minute left in this pose. See if there's any adjustments you might need to make. Relax the legs a little bit more. Maybe fold a little deeper. Or you can come out gently, just slightly if you need to. Let the legs relax and breathe. When you're ready, we'll gently sit up, bring the legs back in together, bend the knees, and we are going to windshield wiper the legs for a minute. So we are counterposing that fold, so maybe bring the hands behind you and just let the knees kind of fall to one side. So the feet are about hip width apart. And then I'm just letting my knees fall side to side. So just counterposing from that long hold, bringing some movement in, letting the blood rush back in. Now when you're ready, we're going to come into our next pose, which is pigeon pose. So maybe you come to all fours. And then we're going to bring the hands slightly forward. And then bring your right knee up inside the right wrist. So your right foot's kind of in the groin area. And then we're going to walk the left leg back as far as we can. So we're in kind of a split position. Now you can stay raised up like this. Maybe grab that blanket, place it under that hip of the knee that's bent. Or you can come down onto the forearms. And here, in this pose, you may need a bolster or stack up some blocks if you want to rest on that. You can pause this video if you need to grab anything that you need. We're going to hold this pose for 5 minutes. And again, you can come out at any time. I'm going to rest on my forearms. Maybe you stack fists on top of each other. Let the forehead rest on the top fist. Maybe close the eyes or leave them open. And just start to come inward. Notice how this pose feels in the body. Making sure there's no pain. And bringing the awareness back to the breath. Deep inhales through the nose. Long exhales through the nose. Or the mouth if it's more comfortable. There's 1 minute left in this pose. If you'd like to go a little deeper, maybe come down to the forearms. Let the head rest on the forearms. Or you can come up onto the hands for this last minute. Let the shoulders relax. Continue letting the hips relax, the legs, and focus on the breath. When you're ready, I'm going to bring the left leg up. I'm going to bend it so your knee is beside the foot. That was in the groin area in pigeon pose. So we're kind of in a pigeon, but we're bringing the leg up for deer pose. So we will hold this pose for 1 minute to kind of counter pose our pigeon. And if having this leg bent with the foot behind you and flexed is too much, you can straighten it out if you'd rather and sit up on a blanket. But if you have the knee bent, make sure the foot is flexed behind you. And we'll just sit up nice and tall, keeping the awareness on the breath. And when you're ready, come back to that all fours position. Come into pigeon on the other side. So coming in to all fours, bringing the arms or the hands forward slightly. Bring that left knee up inside the left wrist. Let the right leg scoot back so the left foot's kind of in the groin area. I'm going to take my blanket, fold it up so under this left hip, and then we'll hold this side for 5 minutes, just like we did the other side. And so again, you have that option. You can stay on the hands if that feels okay. Grab a bolster, pillow, block, anything if you need to place the forearms on. Or you can stack the fist again, placing the forehead on the fist. You can always come down to the forearms as well and rest the head on the forearms. And keep the eyes open or closed. Bringing that awareness back into the body, noticing where you feel the sensations in this pose. Making sure there's no pain. Breathing into the sensations, taking a deep inhale, and then exhale through the nose if it's comfortable. Relaxing into the pose, into the sensations. There's 1 minute left in this pose. If you need to come up a little bit, onto the hands, or maybe you go deeper. Coming onto the forearms and laying the forehead on the mat. Whichever feels best for you. Just bring the awareness back to the breath. And when you're ready, I'm going to bring that right leg, bending the knee up beside that left foot. And so our right leg is bent behind us with our foot flexed. Or if that's too much, you can straighten the leg out and sit on something, the blanket, and we will hold this pose for 1 minute. Just to kind of counter that pigeon. Sitting up nice and tall. Bringing the awareness to the breath. Relaxing the shoulders. When you're ready, we will come into the next pose called lizard or dragon. There's a couple options for this pose. Coming into all fours, wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to bring the right foot up outside the right hand. And then from here, maybe you scoot the left knee back. So kind of in a split position. You can keep the knee down and come down onto the forearms. Or stay up on the forearms. Kind of hold the leg open, push the right leg out, or push the right knee out. Stay here. Option. Can also keep the knee off the mat. This is much more intense, a lot more challenging, and then rest on the forearms. So choose your option, your experience point. I'm going to keep my knee down, and then we will hold this pose for 3 minutes. Again, you can pause this video if you need to grab a bolster or blocks to rest the forearms on. Otherwise, just let them rest on the mat. And feel free to come up onto the hands if you need to. So here we are breathing into the hips. Breathing into the sensation, and again, if you feel any pain, please come out of the pose. So that left foot, the top is either resting on the mat, or you can flex the foot, see which feels best. And we're just breathing here into this pose. Just relaxing the shoulders, away from the ears. Relaxing the legs to a point you can, even though you're holding yourself up. Breathing into the sensation. There's 1 minute left in this pose. You can come up onto the hands if you weren't already, or you can go deeper, coming down to the forearms for this last minute. And breathing into the sensation, in through the nose, out through the nose, if it's comfortable. When you're ready, come up onto the hands, bending into that left knee, kind of straightening out that right leg. We're going to bring the right leg back. We're going to come up into our downward dog. That'll be our counter pose for our lizard. So bringing the wrist under the shoulders, we'll take the hips up and back, bring the ears between the biceps. We're going to hold this counter pose for 1 minute. So letting the head relax between the biceps. Maybe bend one knee, straighten the other. So the feet are hip width apart or a little wider if you need them to be. And we're just bending one knee, straightening the other, swaying the hips. Maybe shake the head no. Shake the head yes. Still breathing deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. When you're ready, we'll come into that lizard on the other side. So if you want to stay in your downward dog, you can, and then we're just going to bring that left foot up beside the left hand. Lower the right knee down to the mat. If you need to come to all fours first and then come into the pose, you can. So whichever option is best for you. So our hands are inside the left foot. We have scooted our right knee back, so we're kind of in a split position. And again, listen to how your body feels. Make sure there's no pain here. You can bring the right knee up and closer to the right hand if you need to. Again, maybe you're on the top of the foot or on the toe. See which one feels best for you. We'll come down to the forearms. And again, hold this pose for 3 minutes. So maybe close the eyes or keep them open. Feeling into the pose, feel where you feel sensation. Making sure there's no pain, breathing in to the sensation. Trying to relax a little with the exhale. Maybe you notice this side is different. Maybe you notice that with the other poses as well. One side's a little easier than the other. And that's okay. Everybody has their more flexible side, their more active side, or cooperative side rather. It just means we might have to make a few more adjustments on one side than we do the other. There's one minute left in this pose. Come up onto the hands if you need to, if that feels better. Or maybe you go deeper, coming down onto the forearms if you weren't already. Still inhaling and exhaling, breathing into the sensations maybe you feel in the hips, the legs. When you're ready, we're just going to bend into that right knee, straightening out the left leg. We're going to bring the left leg behind us. So maybe kind of stop in that all fours position. And then we're going to go up to our downward dog and hold it for 1 minute for our counter pose. So bringing the hands out in front of you, fingers spread wide, hips go up and back, bring the ears between the biceps, bend one knee, straighten the other, sway the hips side to side, relax the neck, shake the head yes, shake the head no. Counterposing the hips from our lizard pose or dragon. And when you're ready, we'll lower our knees back down to the mat. And then coming into a seat, we'll lay down on our backs. So maybe move the blanket to one side, maybe to the right side, depending on how you're laying on your mat. So we're going to lay down on our back. Our knees are bent. We're going to scoot the hips slightly to the left. We're going to let our knees come down to the right. So here you may need that blanket underneath the knees. If the floor is kind of far away, maybe you scoot the hips more to your left. And then we'll take the right hand, maybe kind of guide that knee down. Left arm can go up overhead, relax if that feels okay, or out to the side or on the belly, whichever feels best. And we're going to hold this pose for 5 minutes. So you can close the eyes or keep them open. And again, noticing the breath. Breathing into where you feel sensation. And relaxing A little more with each exhale. Noticing if you're holding tension in the jaw, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, relax the legs. And if any thoughts should arise, to bring the awareness back to the breath. Inhaling deep through the nose and exhaling through the nose if it's comfortable, or the mouth, maybe you sigh it out. There's 1 minute left in the pose. If you want to go a little deeper, maybe relax the legs more, relax the shoulders. Still focusing on the breath. Here in this twist, we are activating the rest and digest response of the nervous system. You may notice your stomach start to growl. That just means you're relaxing. When you're ready, bring our knees back up to center. We'll shift the hips slightly to the right. Let the knees come down to your left. Just maybe move the blanket over to the left. The knees can rest on it. You can also put the blanket between the knees if that feels better. side may be a lot different. Maybe you need more support under the knees. We'll bring that left hand on top of the right knee, kind of guide it down. Bring that right arm overhead or out to the side, whichever feels better. And we'll hold this side for 5 minutes. So you can gaze at the opposite arm from the knees, so the right arm, or keep the gaze up towards the sky if that feels better. Again, close the eyes if you'd rather. So you can notice the sensations in the body. And again, not judging them as good or bad, just noticing. And letting the breath guide the mind back to that calm, quiet place. Inhaling through the nose if it's comfortable, and exhaling through the nose. There's 1 minute left in this pose. If you would like to relax a little bit deeper, let the legs relax, the shoulders. The mind is still on the breath. Relax the jaw. bring the knees back up to center. Bring the hips back to center. We'll come into, bring your knees into your chest. Maybe hold on to the shins or behind the knees and just rock side to side. We'll do this for 1 minute. Just kind of counter pose from our twist. So kind of massaging the lower back. So relaxing the shoulders. Not putting a whole lot of effort into this, just relaxing and counter posing in the hips, resetting the spine from the twist. And then when you're ready, we'll come into our final pose, Shavasana. So maybe you grab your blanket, you can cover up with it, you can put it under your head for a pillow, maybe roll it up under the knees, whatever feels good for you. And then we're just going to lay here in Shavasana. So whatever that looks like for you, just lay comfortably. We will hold Shavasana for 7 minutes. So just laying in a comfortable position. You can even sit up if you'd rather. Maybe you have the knees bent. It's whatever feels good for you to just relax. This is your choice. So once you've gotten to your Shavasana pose, your final resting pose, see if there's anywhere you can make any adjustments to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. So maybe letting the feet fall out, the hands fall open. If you're laying down, try to relax the shoulders. Relax the jaw. And then maybe reorient yourself to your space from when you started. So checking in, noticing the sounds again in the room. Notice where you're being supported by the mat. Feel the whole body supported by the strength and stability of the earth. And bring the awareness to the breath. Those slow inhales to the nose. Complete exhales to the nose if it's comfortable. Maybe you breathe in that strength and stability from the earth, letting it support you here in your practice. And then exhale, release any tension you may feel in the body, any stress that's left, anything that doesn't support you. If the mind should wander to any thoughts, maybe breathe in to those thoughts, recognize that you're thinking, and then exhale, release those thoughts for now. Let them float away with the breath. And then bring your awareness to the top of your head. Relax the top of your head. Relax the eyebrows. Relax the eyes. Relax the nostrils. Relax the jaw. Relax the ears. Relax the mouth. Relax the tongue. Relax the neck. The whole head is relaxed. Relax the shoulders. Relax the upper arms, the upper back, the lower arms, the lower back. Relax the palms of your hands. Relax your fingers. The whole upper body is relaxed. Relax your hips. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your calves. Relax your shins. Relax the tops of your feet. Relax your toes. The whole lower body is relaxed. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Take a complete exhale through the nose if it's comfortable, or the mouth if you'd rather. Feel the whole body relaxed. The whole body supported by the strength of the earth. You have plenty of room to relax. Keeping the awareness on the breath. Continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose and relax. For the next 2 minutes. When you're ready, you can start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Start to move the hands and feet, the arms and legs. And then when you're ready, roll to one side, gently and slowly. Take your time and take a deep breath. Then use the top arm to help push you up. Come up to a comfortable seat. And then we'll take a deep breath in, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. And thank yourself for practicing today. And I thank you for practicing with me. Thank you.